everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Tips Appreciated, where we talk to one of our non-trips writer, Nora. Nora is an avid traveler and a foodie who runs an Instagram account at No the Foodie. Today we talked to her about her living in Paris and telling us about her experience. And also we talk about her obsession with Reese's. So stay tuned and listen.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tips Appreciated. Today we have Nora all the way from Morocco, right?
Yeah, hi.
Yes, hello to you too. Just to give everybody some context, Nora wrote an article for us at Nom Trips quite a while ago, and it was an article on Paris and
Mhm.
places to eat, and essentially a day guide. And we were so jealous for one because we couldn't eat the food right away, but two, we were like, oh my gosh, this is such a great experience. So with the world hitting the pandemic, we thought we would reach out and start to meet people in person virtually. So Nora, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Please
thank
tell
you
us
so
about
much.
yourself and your introduction to our viewers.
Yeah, so thank you, first of all, for inviting me. And also thank you for being the first one with whom I collaborated on Instagram. So that's
Oh,
the
Oh,
first.
nice. We
And
didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
you did
Yeah.
really well. And it was
Awesome.
so much fun for me too.
Well, thank
Mhm.
you. Yeah.
So I'm Nora and I come from Morocco originally, and I was born and raised in Germany actually, and I went there in a French school. So I kind of grew up in this big multicultural environment where I was culturally in Germany, but as well I had a Moroccan household and speaking French the whole day, but also German. It's a
Wow.
lot of fun to be around this many people and having this kind of life, let's say. And so the good thing about it was that I was immediately curious about like food and different cultures, and that kind of created this envy of knowing better the world and exploring. So this is why it's called Nora the Food Explorer. Actually, there are two reasons. Do you know Dora the food, like
Yes.
not the
Yes.
food explorer,
Dora
but the
the
explorer? Yeah,
yeah, Dora the Explorer, yeah.
Yes.
yeah. So a lot of people used to think my name was Dora, especially when I have like young cousins. They always think I'm Dora and not Nora,
hmm
and I always found it kind of funny. And she is an explorer, and I'm a food explorer, sort of. So I thought it was quite a nice thing to have this title.
Yeah,
hmm
it's
No,
very
it's
catchy.
cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cute.
Yeah,
It's very
it's cute.
catchy. Yeah. So do you speak
Yeah,
German? Do you speak German as well then? German and French.
yeah.
Wow, that's
German,
great.
French, Arabic. Yeah,
Perfect. So nice. Okay, well, for our listeners and viewers, this is why we're here today to meet people from all different cultures to share their stories. So now you're living in Rabat, right? Just to confirm. So
yeah.
what is the journey like to Rabat for you? Maybe tell our viewers.
Mm, it's quite interesting because I have lived here when I was younger for about 5 years, but obviously we don't get the same sense of things when we're older and we
Oh,
come back and
hmm
thinking that it's my country, but as well I have my other country. It's a little bit weird, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's fun to rediscover things with a new point of view. And Rabat is a great city to live in. Like you have this amazing quality of life, the sun, not like in Canada, but
okay.
we are lucky with the weather here.
That's nice. But how's the food scene over there? I'm guessing like lots of delicious types of food.
Absolutely. Like the cuisine here, especially like the Moroccan cuisine is very famous and lots of flavors and spices. And that's what I love about it. Like it's never blend. When you eat it, you just have this explosion of flavors and it's just
hmm
amazing. And the good thing as well is that, well, we're in Morocco. It's not like Paris or London or New York. There's still a lot of ongoing things here, new creations all the time because we don't have everything covered. Like we
hmm
have the basics like sushi maybe or very good Italian place. But with the pandemic, there was like more and more little businesses like creating donuts, homemade donuts with the
Mm.
special American type of recipe or
hmm
cookies or all of these new things that we used to have them, but like quite basic, not like these are proper American cookies for you guys or something like this. So we're getting, yeah, I like this, the fact that it's like an ongoing food scene. Like it's always, there's something new to discover. We will always have, okay, sometimes you miss finding those things. Like when I was in Paris, obviously in Paris, you kind of have everything, but it's also new and attractive, and it gives you content to create as well on Instagram. Like, look, there's this new place that opened right now and we should try it out. So yeah.
Okay.
I noticed
Okay.
in your post, in your Instagram post, it's very diverse, the food. Like, and I think you just went through the spectrum, right? There's sushi, there's like Moroccan food, see some desserts as well. I think Vic and I were looking through, we're like, ooh, wow.
So
I love desserts.
Oh yeah, but as someone that's never been to Morocco, like what's a dish that you have to have when you're in Morocco?
Then you should definitely go for proper Moroccan food. The two most famous ones would be tagine and couscous. These are the two most famous foods we have here. And if you can have them even at home with someone, because one of the great things about our culture is so generous and the hospitality is amazing here. So you can get invited to places, to homes, and have this proper sense of homemade food with love and lots of spices.
Oh, that sounds so good. I love couscous.
I know.
You know that.
We love couscous. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I had couscous was on a plane. I honestly, to be honest, I wasn't sure what it was. And then I asked the flight attendant. I was like, oh, just to get a sense, like, what is it? And she was like, it's couscous. I'm like, oh, cool. Awesome. And then now we do eat couscous actually quite a bit, but probably not very, like, I would say traditional if we were to have it in Morocco. But yeah, I think you're saying you like couscous as well.
Yeah, same. That's why when you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, I know what that is, but obviously I'm pretty sure it doesn't taste as good as like in Morocco. So yeah. Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
So when I would say, like, you kind of hinted it already, like in terms of the warm culture and the society there. So traveling there itself, like to explore the culture and the city and the area, is it fairly easy to get around, like in terms of public transportation, or what is it like?
Like as a tourist, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
as a
for
tourist.
yeah, as a tourist. I think it's quite easy because everyone is super nice and helpful, and we are a very, I think, collectivist society is the word we use. Like it's not very individualistic. People speak all the time to each other. It's super normal to speak with people who you don't know, even foreigners or whatever. So I think a tourist never gets lost here. They always offer help, so that's pretty nice. Also, I wouldn't necessarily recommend public transportation. It's not 100% reliable, but you can easily move around with the car or with a guide or rent a car probably.
Nice. That's great actually, because yeah, it's like it's so different, right? Before you go versus what you read, but to hear it from you, it's like, okay, it's like you can still get around essentially by asking. Everybody's friendly and kind of show you around, right? That's really cool. So you mentioned in your article on non-trips itself, you went to school in Paris, right? Is that university?
Yeah,
is that
like
what you did? To
uni,
university. Yeah. Okay. And how long were you there for?
So I did my master's there, and it's around 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. What did you get your master's in? Would you mind?
Yeah, my major, it was international business and management.
Oh, awesome. That is great. So what is it like? What was it like living in Paris for a few years?
Is it kind of like in the movies kind of thing, or totally different?
Have you watched Emily in Paris?
Yes, I have.
It's nothing like that.
Okay. So don't use that as a reference.
Please don't, because then you'll be disappointed.
Okay.
No, I mean, life in Paris was great because, as I mentioned, you can do so many things there, like so many activities, so many food spots. Culturally, it's amazing. The sightseeing, just wandering around is just like so satisfying. But it's a very kind of busy lifestyle that you will get because there is so much to do, so much to see. There is always someone around Paris you have to meet. There is always a new place that you have to check out or a new exhibition. And then you go home at night and you're just completely done with your day and you don't even see the night coming. It's true. Like 24 hours is not enough a day in Paris, which is a good thing, sort of,
Yeah.
if you can organize, of course. But then you can get very busy and it's a bit tiring, of course. But overall, I think it's a great place, like to have this little experience. And yeah, it was fun. It was really fun to live there. It's just, I think it was a bit tiring
It was tiring.
overall. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I went there for my honeymoon. I think we were there for 3 or 4 days. But this was 2007. So I'm remembering my anniversary day now. So in 2007. So it's been a while since I've been there. And I recall like, oh man, what is the food like in Paris? Is it like the movies? Is it as advertised as well? Especially like the pastries and the desserts. So what's your? I'll tell you my favorite memory after you tell us. So what was it like for you? Like how did you enjoy it? What's your favorite? What stood out? What do you remember?
I have a big sweet tooth, so everything that's sweet I had to try when I was in Paris.
Nice.
And it's amazing actually. And while I was there, I had a student job. Yeah, I was working part time during Christmas season for Le Nôtre, which is a very big luxury catering company, and they do a lot of pâtisserie. That's how we call them, right? And so I could try everything there, and that was amazing because you also had to speak to the client, like, what do you recommend? And I'm like, oh, what do you like? Fruity or chocolatey or whatever. And I was like, I tried this. This is amazing. And I remember one day, a client told me, like, which one should I try? Just give me the description of each of these. And I reached my favorite one. And when I was describing it, she said, I saw sparkle in your eyes. So I think I'm going to take this one.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
This is how authentic it felt to speak about it because it was so good. And I think what makes it so special is the fact that there is like attention to detail in these kind of things. It's not processed food or industrial food like we know it in the supermarket. It's really something, it's an art for them. It's like they're huge chefs and they love making these, and it makes it so special just to see it, the presentation, everything. I remember even working there, they said if one of them is broken, if something doesn't look right, we don't present it and we don't sell it, like, because it's so important to have this visual identity, which makes you want to have it, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you only had one like choice, like one pastry choice, like or dessert or whatever, what would you pick for Paris?
Ooh, like the name of one particular
any
pastry.
Yeah, any pastry like you found was like your go-to.
That is so hard.
Okay, I'll give you two.
Okay, I'm going to say anything that has pistachio in it. That's amazing. And anything that has praline in it. You know, this kind of nuts with chocolate, hazelnut. They do it so well.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. You know what? That's like the perfect. So I was talking about a memory I had. It was a chocolate. I don't remember what it's called anymore. But it had pistachios on it, right on top. And that's the one my wife and I remember the most. In fact, we ended up going back to the place and buying sort of those gift boxes, and that was the gift that we gave back to family when we came back to Canada.
And did they like it too?
They did, yeah. It was the chocolate with the pistachio on top.
See?
I can't remember the name. Shame on me, but yes, that's exactly it. So, yeah, cool. Vic, have you been to Paris?
No, I haven't. I actually had it planned to go before everything shut down. So yeah, I missed my opportunity to go. But when it opens up, maybe.
Well, it will. It will, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I also recall that it was very easy to walk around Paris. We walked everywhere, and we found that was very enjoyable too. Is that kind of how, when you lived there, you just kind of walked everywhere too, or did you use other modes of transportation for people to get around?
On the good days, I used to walk, that's for sure. If I'm too tired, I would take the metro without hesitating.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's true.
But with walking, that's how you find these nice places, right? Like it's just you walk around and you see these cute little coffee shops, and that's what I love about Paris is that everything is so authentic, sort of. Like if I'm gonna go to this coffee shop and I want a croissant, I know it will be like a real good croissant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm getting hungry. The coffee and the croissant. Yeah.
So I think we talked about like a little bit about culture, how you're always doing something and like nonstop kind of thing. And then by the time it's like nighttime, you're like exhausted. But for a traveler, like how's the culture like for them? Like, would it be a little bit different if they stay there a little bit longer? Or it's like what do you think?
If someone travels to Paris, like how would they perceive Paris?
Yeah, the culture, like.
That's a good question. Like from the friends that I know who visited Paris without knowing French or without knowing the place in general, they said it was a bit like there is really this language barrier between French people and the tourists, which is not ideal when you want, to be in a place and meet people, and you end up doing a lot more touristy stuff than being with Parisians or people who live there to get a little bit their perspective of Paris. So I think living in Paris is much, much different than being a tourist in Paris, because of course you will want to do all those touristy things for sure. And you might miss the opportunity to do stuff that like people like the Parisian lifestyle. I don't know how to explain it properly. It's something like, okay, you have seen the Eiffel Tower before. You don't need to see it again, but you like to just be in a park with your friends, have a little picnic, take a baguette, some cheese or some desserts, something like that, and sit down in a nice place. Or like we said, wander around the streets and find new things. Be in these neighborhoods you've never thought about going to because they're not famous, right? So I would suggest.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, you said your friend came to Paris without knowing French and everything. But I've heard that Canadian French and French being used in Paris is totally different. And you could totally like tell like a foreigner, you're like, okay, that's Canadian French. Is that true or?
Absolutely. I visited Montreal 3 years ago. And I absolutely love their accent. I think it's so cute, but you can definitely see the difference. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay. That's very true. So when we before we traveled to Paris, we learned some basic French, right, just to kind of help communicate. But one of the funniest stories I've ever shared in our honeymoon is I was like, okay, I have to try Chinese food in Paris.
Okay.
So we were walking around and we saw a Chinese restaurant. I'm like, awesome. We have to go in. We have to try it since, I love food. And I go in and I walk up to the ordering area, and she had like all the food there. And so I was like, okay, I think I'll be okay because she's Chinese. I'm Chinese, but she spoke French to me, and I spoke English to her. And there was zero communication. We were at loss with each other, but you could tell we were looking at each other as if, okay, there's got to be a way here because, but eventually I just, ended up pointing to what I liked, and it was still a great experience. But exactly to your point, kind of what you're saying in your tips and advice, it's like, yeah, it's like the day-to-day life. I saw that too. Like we went and got a baguette. We went to the park. We went to sit down, and it was like amazing. It was so nice just to relax and pause, right, from the day-to-day hectic schedule, because we were everywhere. We went to the Eiffel Tower, we walked everywhere, all those things, right? So that's a great tip, I think, for our viewers and our listeners, is that even though you're going there and you might just have a few days or whatever it is, don't forget to pause and sort of enjoy that lifestyle too, right? So
that's kind of like when I went to New York as well. Like we bought like pastries from like Magnolia's bakery, and then we just hung out in Central Park and just sat there and like kind of people watched and stuff, and it was like super nice.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so nice. I really want to try Magnolia bakery, but it's still not available here.
When you go to New York, or like I think there's multiple locations in the States now, but for sure it's like popular in New York.
Yeah, it is also in the Middle East, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Okay.
Okay, so international now.
International.
Yeah.
Nice. So do you have a where is your next travel destination? Like, do you have one yet post when
Oh,
everyone can travel again? Is there a wish list?
well, my wish list is so long. There is a wish list, and I think one of the destinations that has been catching my eye, if that's an expression we use in English, I don't know, recently has been Dubai. I've seen the food scene there looks so amazing right now, and everything is open there as well. Like I think they have managed pretty well the whole pandemic situation and doing well with the restrictions, but also with the tourists. So I'm really, really tempted to go there, especially for the food.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It looks like a really nice place.
Yeah, it
Nice.
does. And the weather is amazing too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's important for me.
Yeah.
Because when I was in Montreal, it was in April and it was snowing, and I was like, how
Oh.
is that possible? Why?
Wasn't Paris a little bit chilly too, or do they not get cold there? I thought they snowed. Or was it? Does it
It
snow?
does actually, but I think this year it snowed a lot in Europe, but usually it could be like it is cold in the winter, but not like Canadian cold. Canadian
Oh,
cold
yeah.
is
Yeah.
on
Canadian,
another
sure.
level.
Yeah, totally.
True. Well, if you ever decide to visit west of Montreal into Canada, into like Edmonton, where we are, come in the summer.
Okay.
It's amazing, and we will be more than happy to show you around our food scene. Not
Oh, that
quite
would
as
be
global, I
amazing.
would say, but we're definitely are more diverse now. I would say in the last 5 to 6 years here too.
We've expanded a
So
lot then.
so yeah, if you ever make it out to this part of the world, we are more than happy to host and show you around because we think it'd be absolutely amazing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And you're more than welcome here, of course. I
thank
mentioned
you. Yeah.
hospitality, and that goes for you, of course.
Yes,
Thanks.
it'd be amazing, hey Vic, if we.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my
I do
gosh.
want to go Morocco one of these days.
Yeah.
Like my friend went like 2 years ago and she loved it.
Yeah, and if you go to Paris, it's a 2-hour flight from Paris, 2.5 hours.
Oh,
Like,
that's
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah.
Super
Okay.
close. Oh,
Okay. My kids have been wanting to see the Eiffel Tower, so maybe
Ah.
that is an excellent trip to sort of extend to, connect to.
yeah, exactly. And like
Nice.
a whole change of scenery, right? Like from
Yeah,
a
yeah.
continent to another in such a short time.
Totally amazing. Speaking of amazing, we learned that you have a love of Reese's.
Yeah.
I love Reese's
So
too.
if you have not seen and gone to Nora's Instagram account at No the Foodie, there is a picture of her. Were you in Dubai where you had the T-shirt and you were holding?
No, that was Morocco.
You were in Morocco. Sorry.
Yeah.
So there is one picture of you with the T-shirt and the cereal. Was it the cereal that you were holding? The
It was
cereal,
the
right?
cereal,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, tell us about your love for Reese's because we love Reese's too. So
Yeah.
we're excited to hear.
Well, I think it started in high school when a friend of mine traveled to the US with her family and she came back with Reese's and she was like, you have to try this. It's amazing. So the love for food has been forever going on.
Mhm.
And it was indeed a combination that I've never tried, like the peanut butter and the chocolate. I found it just mind blowing. The problem is in Europe, they don't sell Reese's. Well, at that time, they didn't. So I kind of forgot about it, or just like I couldn't find anything close to it. Then I went to, and it's when I traveled that I could see some stores, they had Reese's. Like in Canada, you have Reese's. And I bought so many Reese's when I was there just to
Nice.
take with me.
Yeah.
And I went to Kuwait in the Middle East, and they also had Reese's, and I did the same. And my little sister, she loves it too. And the T-shirt is actually hers. So of course, when I told her I found Reese's, she was like, "You have to bring like the double of what you plan to bring."
Nice.
Wow. Do you like the
Yeah.
cereal? Do you like the Reese's cereal?
I love it. It's even the smell, just the smell was so satisfying. Even before trying it, I was like, this smells amazing.
Oh man. When you were in Montreal, did you see the peanut butter cup that was like the 1 pound one? Like the super
Yeah, it's like really, really thick.
It was like
I
triple the size
haven't,
of
no.
you have not. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Vic, we may have
Oh,
to send
Yeah,
Nora some.
please.
yeah. We'll have to
Okay.
find it first. I don't know. I think they only come on special occasions, but yeah, we'll search around for this 1 pounder.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried it?
I
Yeah.
have.
Yes.
You have to cut it up because it's
It's
obviously way too
it's so
big.
thick.
It's so
It's so
thick.
big.
Okay?
It's like a mini pie almost. Like
Yeah.
so it's exciting.
It's like a family
Yeah,
thing.
family
Yes,
size.
yes, it's like a family
Yeah,
size.
family size.
Because I have to say, just eating 3, you're like, that's it? Like, they're so
Yeah.
small. But yeah,
But
the 1
True.
pound.
okay, well
That's quite something.
next time we're at the store, we're gonna take some pictures and tag you. And we
Please.
can virtually shop. You can say, I like
Yeah.
this one and I like this one. Because there's so many different like variations of Reese's now, especially in the
Mhm.
last couple of years.
There's like white chocolate
There's white
Reese's.
chocolate versions. The one I miss the most is the crunchy version. Have you had the crunchy? So like crunchy peanut butter where they have like the chunks of peanuts in the peanut butter. No. Okay. So I've been on the hunt for that one for maybe six months to a year now. So if I find it, I will definitely get some. We'll send some Reese's your way.
Yeah.
And then
Thank you.
then we will have to do another episode or something. We could have a Reese's feast
Like
together.
special, yeah, Reese's edition
Reese's
mukbang.
edition. Yeah. Nice. Okay, well that's so awesome. Okay, well, shifting gears a little bit, you're also doing a promotion with Jumia. Is that it's correct? Yeah, tell us
Yeah.
about Jumia. You mentioned a little bit in our pre-chat, but yeah, let us know what Jumia is and how you're promoting and partnering with them.
Okay, so there is this app called Jumia Food, and there is also Jumia, which is basically our Amazon here in Africa. Not all Africa, but mainly North Africa and some countries in Central Africa. And I'm so proud because they had this one-time opportunity where they said you want to be a Jumia ambassadors with a few conditions. And I applied and they replied, they're like, yeah, you're one of our ambassadors now. Welcome. So we'll get you a discount code for your followers and you can promote whenever you want. And
Nice.
I found it pretty cool, especially because it's an African company and I want to push forward like all of the work we do here as well. And not only, what's the word in English for support? Yeah. Not only support like for foreign companies, but also like give this little push to our own companies. It's not perfect, of course, but I think it's already a great start. And yeah, I use it on a daily basis. I love showing things that I generally use and know. Like I've been using it way before seeing it on Instagram, way before becoming an ambassador. So I really love the fact that there is these kind of opportunities more and more here because yeah, I think it's not something pretty common, I would say, or it's new. Let's say it's new, the new kind of things that we have here now.
Nice. So they deliver food to your door too, right? I think that's part of their service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so it's kind of like an Amazon then, correct?
Yeah.
It's like both. Like you have the Amazon part, like if you want to buy any product that you cannot find in stores or whatever, like I don't know, it could be, yeah. And the food app, yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. One thing that we chatted about the last few minutes here was around sushi. So I have to ask, like, you love sushi as well. So is the sushi really good there too? I'm sure you've had it in numerous parts of the world. Like,
yeah, I've had sushi. Yeah, I've had sushi in a lot of places, and I think my favorite sushi place is in Nice, in south of France, which is unexpected, but it is so good there. But I've had sushi here, and I must say I'm quite surprised by how good it is. And actually, I'm not surprised. Like I'm sure they did great, and they always do great. But sometimes when you go to a restaurant, you never know if it's just the name of it that makes it look like it is a sushi place, or is it because it's authentic and the chefs know how to do it? It could be sushi or anything, and I can say that they definitely have great chefs and they're specialized in all this. So
nice.
Sushi, you can go here, no problem. You can have it.
Okay.
Awesome.
That'll be on our list if we ever travel because we're big fans of sushi as well. like the
Mhm.
whole
Yeah.
family. So
Yeah.
yes, no, we have an ongoing list now. Just
Yeah.
like, okay, we've got to visit here, meet people, and yeah. So Vic, you have a list soon too, right? Where you're going next?
Well, Europe was supposed to be
Yeah.
my next spot, right? But yeah, we'll see after this whole pandemic
Kind
thing
of see
is
how it goes.
over.
Yeah. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll wrap up for today. I think this was a great conversation. Thank you again, Nora, for
Thank
coming on.
you.
Mhm.
Amazing that we're able to make a connection with someone across the world, and also humbled that you mentioned your sort of first collab opportunity. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
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 And now you're also my first podcast.
Yes, awesome.
Nice.
So you can both watch this on YouTube, as well as we'll have an audio version too. So for all of our listeners and viewers, share your stories as well. Tell us where you've been, if you've been to Morocco, what your experience is like in Paris, and then we will definitely see you on the next episode. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for coming on,
Super fun,
Nora.
man. Yeah, Nora,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for having me.
Yeah.